I believe the trends in the school system over the last many decades has been detrimental. And it hasn't been dirty. Even in the 50s, it started with the federal government getting involved. There is nothing in the Constitution that says the federal government should be involved in education at all. So we've had a system of government that has been encouraged by our school system. The economics taught in the school system is never free market, Austrian hard money economics. It's always Keynesian soft money economics that are wrong. And not only that, we get taught history in our public schools. And who are the great presidents? The great presidents are always said to be the ones who run a war. Why don't we have the peace candidates be the great presidents? Something else has happened over the many decades, and that is our confusion on what patriotism is all about. Guess who the true early American patriots supported? They didn't support the current government that they had, and yet today they want you to believe that patriotism means that you support everything the government wants. A true patriot defends liberty and the people. And just naming a bill the Patriot Act and voting for that doesn't make you a patriot. The true patriot will repeal the Patriot Act, is what they will do. Another thing the American people have been enticed into believing is that if you support the free market system and you don't support the welfare state, that you can't be a humanitarian. That's total nonsense. If you really care about your fellow man, and you care about prosperity, and you care about peace, you have to care about liberty, not socialism and welfarism and corporatism. We as a group are often challenged by saying, oh, you're the people that want to go back to the dark ages. You want to go back to the dark ages of sound money. You want to go to the dark ages of minding our own business in international affairs. But the real truth is that the old-fashioned ideas is tyranny, and we want to get away from those old-fashioned ideas. Freedom is a new idea, and it's only been tried in a short period of time, and that's when the world has become more productive and poverty has been wiped out. But what do we see now? We're drifting back in that direction, and people are moving into poverty, even in this country, because they do not understand and do not defend the principles of liberty. Approximately 100 years ago or so, philosophically, this country accepted the notion that freedom was made up of two parts. Two parts. One where your personal liberties mean one thing, and on the other hand, your economic liberties are separate. That is complete nonsense. Liberty is one unit. You have a right to your life. You have a right to live your life the way you want. You have a right to work hard, and you ought to have a right to keep the fruits of your labor. In one of the debates, we were asked as a group, what do you think is the greatest moral crisis that we're facing today in this country? And the thought that crossed my mind during that debate, and I still believe it's one of the most serious moral crises we face, and that is we as a nation have come to accept, at least the policies go in that direction, that we as a nation now accept the principle of preventive war, actually starting war. There is no moral justification from that, and there certainly is no constitutional justification to fight these many wars that we have been fighting without a declaration of war. We take the oath of office to obey the Constitution when we're sworn into office, and we take that when we're sworn into the military. And we swear to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Guess what? We do a pretty good job defending against foreign threats. We overdo that because we have no foreign threats. We have no threat that somebody's going to invade this country. We have a threat of terrorism, but that is a consequence of a seriously flawed foreign policy. We overdo our concerns about our foreign threats, but we do forget about the threat from our domestic conditions that we have here. And since 9/11, our liberties have been threatened. They have been undermined. We are less free since 9/11. We're going in the wrong direction. Both parties in these last several decades, and especially in the last decade, has accepted the notion of the unitary president, which is essentially a dictatorship, allowing the president to make decisions on his own. And just think of the inconsistency of turning this power over to the executive branch and then allowing the president to make these decisions, writing executive orders. There should be essentially no executive orders, or very, very few executive orders. And we can't have a president that goes and takes a bill and arbitrarily writes a signing statement and says, oh, I only like part of this bill, I'm going to ignore the other part. No presidential signing statements to have line item vetoes. So what about the bureaucrats in Washington? Do you think they should have the power to write law? Where did they get this power? That only the Congress is supposed to write the laws, and yet bureaucrats are writing the laws all the time. Just think of the Federal Register. Volumes and volumes and volumes, and if you don't understand every single regulation, you can get into big trouble. And yet, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful that the Constitution is not complex? We can read it, and most school kids should be able to understand it. But that might be one of the reasons the Constitution is not taught in our public schools, because if we raised up a new generation of individuals, they might realize that this whole system of government that we're inheriting and that we're working with and trying to change is unconstitutional. We shouldn't have it.